ya papitai lava ya le whaponganga Samoa o lo tisa o tunta tutanonga nei mai le mai te Amerika wa po lo si le fia ya o le taia o le nei po le fiafi e fufu po fera vanga klope o le whaponga mai ai tanroanga mai le stete o Utah ya male kionga i le faipule mai i le stete o Utah le tunga ya la fo Jacob Fitzemanu na whanau o ia masoifua mai i Aotearoa i New Zealand ma o tele lon soifuanga o le stete o Hawaii ma le stete o Utah ya ma o alala nei la fo melo na tausi o Lucia ma o na lo tamaitai to lua to lua i West Valley City i te tonu lava o le stete o Utah o lona tina o le tina lea tua o la fo o Karen mai le stete o Hawaii ia ma o lona tama o Jacob sa wanga Fitzemanu mai le lalafanga i falfai polu ia masafuni i savai o la fo Jacob Fitzemanu ma whafau ko iai ia au o le ainga potpoto ma li tumalo i soa whamitai o la fo mai ane le mamalo le lalafanga o toa mua ma putpaa mawalon whailonga o le Bachelor of Science ma le Masters of Public Health mai le Westminster University o lo fa umanei lana whailonga whaafomai po doctor degree i le John Hopkins University te tasi university longa po le nea tunu. Saya taulu mataitaia manager le community health program po kalame alimtanga luanga soifomai loina Utah Department of Health mo le iwa tausanga. Mana tofia o ia le presidente Barack Obama le dua fesulima e vea komisina o le Advisory Commissioner for Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders papea ma le tusinga ingoa a United o le Census National Advisory Committee. Fitu tausanga na luei o ia le City Council o le whaiungo lua felusulfa na man malo il palota mo le tu malo numero tosulu ma o tausanga nei lua felusulima no nu ulua i ulfale ai lau pou Jacob Fitzemanu o se whaipule di tonu o le fono whaitu la fono o le stete o Utah o lau pou Jacob Fitzemanu ma Verona sangato maunga o Samoa mo mua ia ua mua i malai le fono whaitu la fono o le stete o Utah o lau pou ma Verona o sui o le party o le Democrat. Talafalava and welcome to Radio Samoa. Lau pou Jacob Fitzemanu. Talafalava.
Talafalava. Yeah, thanks, Tyler. Yeah, Vanoa. It's great to be with you here this afternoon.
Can you tell us a little bit when you won the election? You beat a Republican in a heavily red state of Utah. How was that experience?
It was a hard-fought battle. We were very fortunate to have so much support here. Many people don't know that Utah, Samoa, we have the largest Pacific Islander population by percentage in the continent of the United States, the lower 48 states. It was more about electing a good person, less about electing a Democrat or a Republican. It really was about finding solutions for people, and I think the result of the election showed that people wanted to have someone they can trust, somebody from their community to represent them, regardless of what party I was from, and that was really nice to see.
Malulutunu on nganai lua e pole ngan foi pa Britania sanga mai e sunga ela fo take a treatment and for le mata no ngal ta nei. You work for President Barack Obama. Can you walk us through the time you were working for President Barack Obama administration and also explain to see what's happening now in Washington? What's the difference?
Yeah. Malia ku le la fa Samoa wo tam fa lava I was working in Washington D.C. was very interesting because the way that national politics plays out is very different from our neighborhood, community, city level politics. And the job that I was asked to do as an advisor was to counsel and provide some advice about how to work with our people. What are the needs of our Pacifica people in the United States, and what can the federal government do to help us pursue the American dream? So I was very fortunate to go on behalf of the White House initiative, or on behalf of the president's initiative to, for example, to Guam for the Micronesian Congress, and to also visit places all over the United States to listen and to understand what are the needs, what do our people need, and take that back to Washington, D.C., and try to get resources and try to get good policy to support our people.
Yeah. In Utah itself, don't worry, Utah. Only Fapitao, the tele, the Maitawina, or Afiayo, Tangata. What are some of the most urgent problems you see there?
One that comes immediately to mind is our health. So if you are we have the highest in the state of Utah. Pacific Islanders have the highest rate of cancer death, the highest rate of heart attack and stroke, and one of the highest rate of infant mortality. So these are all things that can be treated, can be prevented in some cases, but for some reason, our people are not getting the health care that they need. And so all of those things, or insurance and access to hospitals for Ma'i, these are all things that we're trying to work on as well here. One thing we did work on successfully in the state of Utah was to put a cap on the cost of insulin. It's so serious, diabetes, and our people have the highest rate of diabetes here in Utah. And so we were able to work on a law that prevents, that lowers the cost of insulin to make it affordable for our people.
Mm-hmm. O lau sunga o se tangata whapitoa, to mai whapitoa I soifu malunina, you are a healthcare specialist. To tell you what tangata Samoa ngata Utah, a o United Te ato. Can you tell us what is going on, what's going to happen nationally in the next 4 years in terms of health care, women's reproductive rights, or the Medicaid, Medicare, the tele more safety net programs in terms of a national policy leo patatia mai Washington?
Yeah, this is very concerning right now because many of our Pacifica people are beneficiaries, are members of government healthcare systems and insurance like Medicaid or CHIP for children and Medicare for our seniors. And so with current policies that are reducing funding or eliminating certain programs and even discouraging research into our health problems and health disparities, unfortunately, and I hate to say this, I do see already that there will be Samoan families who will not be able to access health care. There will be people who will get sicker because they don't have the care they need. There will be people who will unfortunately die because they are not going to be able to access the services or the medication or the programs that they need. I don't want to sound, alarmist, but that is the reality. Many people depend and rely on government assistance just to be able to maintain their basic quality of life, and that includes health care. And unfortunately, many of those programs are being removed or defunded, and that will have very serious impacts on individuals and families from our Samoan community.
Mm-hmm. Walau tu mai whapitoa o se fu maruina lava. Le lasau mai tau le melo tupu nei I le Philotusial Health Department Kennedy. I le anti-vaccination. For le pe te tu mea ia. How do you see that affect our people? I mean, there are different philosophies in all this, but usually marginalized communities affects the first, and the most, and the worst too. But that's how no yemta upuwa tele yo swinga yo pai mene swinga. My confused with tangata po ani swinga and when fa mani no mai tangata. Ima magulatin.
Very interesting. This issue of vaccination, tui is something that is very close to our history because our grandparents' generation remembers the mamai of 1918, the Spanish influenza, which killed so many people, right? That was a pandemic across the world, especially in Samoa. That was a very terrible catastrophe. And then we remember the measles as well due to low vaccination rate. So our Samoan people, we understand the pandemic very well. We understand the importance of vaccines, and we know what happens when we fail to protect our own people through vaccination and immunization. And so it is very confusing to see a national figure who has such a big responsibility for our nation's health to reverse and to go against what science and history has taught us about this for so long. The reason why we don't have polio or smallpox and these other diseases is because we have been protected by immunization. And it's unfortunate that there is this conflict of information that's out there today, especially for our Samoan people who understand very well what the consequences can be and how serious that can be when we don't protect our communities by getting vaccinated.
Mm-hmm. How do you see yourself in 20 years from now? Utah senator or in Congress or the White House?
In the way that things are going now, I really feel a great sense of responsibility to my local community. I would love to go back to city council, maybe run for mayor of the city, West Valley City, where I'm proud to live and raise my family. We have the largest Samoan population in the state of Utah. We have the largest population of Pacific Islanders are in our city, and I would see myself there long term, serving in the city. I don't know how many more years I want to serve in state government. At this point, I definitely don't want to be in DC. If I that's a whole different world. But I'll definitely stay connected and make sure that we're connected and protecting our people.
It's interesting that there's only two Samoans in the Utah legislature, and both of you with Verona are Democrats. But I don't want to go into that now. But your last thoughts, anything that I didn't cover or that it's important for Samoans and Polynesians to know, ilaw no fo inga, maltula me po ile fono paitula fono ayuta.
The most important thing is to be involved. If you're eligible to vote, please register to vote and please vote. I really do not care if you are a Republican or a Democrat. Mm-hmm. I just want our people to be represented. And if we don't vote, then we don't have representation. And so that's really my message to everyone. My dad, became a citizen, an American citizen, and I watched that process and I see how proud he is to contribute to the democracy and be able to vote for the people that represent us and who make our laws, and that's just that's what we need to be doing. Get involved.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Representative Laufo Jacob Fitzsimmons, for your time, for coming on Radio Samoa. Ilinitaya Paptailava.
Paptailava, alofatu.
Yeah. Isama isanonga na bale fepule Jacob Fitzsimmons itonu olestete o Utah ya mo nei te me voi so po sala la le ai ngai manga le se le la ona ai mo te nei so fo